Hello, welcome to another edition of the Honeydew List. Today we have an issue of a loose faucet. There's a couple of tools that we'll be using. One is a specialty tool, which is considered a plumber's wrench, and it's for reaching up under and tightening. Basically, I don't have an extra faucet, but what I do have is this right here, and I'll show you basically what we're going to be doing. On most anything that goes through an item like this, a sink, faucet, or a drain, you'll have a rubber seal plus a bolt, right? A nut that goes up and down, and that's what tightens it to the thickness of your sink or your tub or whatever other plumbing fixture that you have. And what this tool does is it allows you to reach up under there, get a hold of the nut, and turn it. You would turn it this way, and you can, these things have a design where you can flip it over and be able to clamp down and turn it the other way. That's basically the tool that we're going to be using because we need to get in here. Some of the things that we'll be using to get this trim and everything off is a lot of people will go out and buy an expensive punch or other things. I like to use something that I have common and laying around, such as a 16-penny nail. What you can do is you can line it up to the previous nail and hit it, and it'll knock the nail through. You can see it already came loose. Usually anytime that you have a garden tub like this, it'll have an access panel. It's usually the smallest size panel on the tub. This one right here, it just happens to be this one right here. I've already pre-loosened most of the stuff in here because of the length of the video. Trying to keep it short. All this will of course get repainted and caulked. And all you do, because you're in a bathroom, you want to use an acrylic, good name brand white caulk. And what we'll do is we'll end up caulking it and then cutting in the paint on the trim here, just like we did in our previous video. So let's get to it. Like I said, I've pre-loosened most of everything on here. We will have to do a little pulling apart, but nothing major. You want to take your time with this step because you can definitely break a piece and then you're breaking out saws and other tools that you shouldn't really need to pull out and have to use for a small project like this. This is just a simple, easy, quick fix project. Should take one or two few minutes to do. Make sure you always separate the quarter round from the baseboard before you do it. Like I said, I had pre-loosened all the nails, pre-punched them all. Now this right here, this panel should just be a few nails holding it in place, which it is. And we just have to work it out, just to pop it loose, which that was no problem at all. Let me get my flashlight now that I have sitting right here. Okay, and the way this works is, of course you have your basic plumbing and you're coming up, and under here is the fixtures, and of course we have a brass nut right here that we're going to be tightening up. I see that this is not the original. It has been replaced, so this nut must not have got tightened up fully. It has the garment, the rubber washer right there, and then the spacer, and then of course the nut, and that's what we'll be tightening up today. Actually, this one is in a pretty open area, which should be fairly easy to tighten. What you want to do first of all, you want to make sure it's lined up at the top, and then you just want to tighten it with your hand as tight as you can get it. Okay, and then you're going to grab your specialty wrench tool, and I'm going to have to lay down and kind of get in the way here to get this to go, to get in here. So it's going to be a little tight fit, but I think that we both can fit in here. Okay, and so, like I said, we're going to be tightening this bolt this nut right here on this bolt. We're going to be using this tool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to set down the phone and position it just where you can see it, and you can kind of get an idea of what we're doing. It's kind of a hard angle because it is a tight spot. What you'll do is you'll put your tool around it in this direction. And then what you do is you just turn the handle. And you can see the nuts tightening up with every turn. Come back, it's spring loaded, so it'll automatically, readjust itself on the nut. And you just keep turning. You do not want to over tighten this because you have a chance of cracking the fiberglass. So what you want to do is just keep and make it snug. You'll know when it's snug because you'll hear a little bit of the fiberglass make a little bit of a noise. Don't go until you hear it crunch. But what you want to do is hear it start to set in. I mean, you can hear me pressing on. When you start hearing that noise, you know that you've got it tight. And there we go. This nut is now tight. So I'll bring you back up to the top. And now the faucet doesn't move anymore. So that was a quick, easy project. And then of course we're going to reassemble. First of all, you want to pull all your nails out or drive them in. I prefer to pull them out, and what I use for that, just a cheap pair of channel locks. If I can get them to work. Thank God I brought 2 pair. All right, we just get a pair of channel locks. And these are little brad nails. They're used in almost manufacturing of everything. You can see they're pretty long, and they have very little head on them. If you were trying to grab it with a hammer, the nail won't catch. It's very hard to get these out with a hammer. So a lot of times, this is, a pair of pliers will probably be your best bet. I mean, I haven't had much luck with anything else. Okay, and then to reinstall everything, we're just going to use, instead of breaking out a big nail gun and air compressor and all that, we're just going to use a 1-inch paneling nail. By these, this one was around 1,000 paneling nails, about $3 at my local hardware store. So we're going to reassemble everything. And you would just reverse the process. We're going to go back, we're going to take the nails out, we're going to put the panel back on, we're going to drop a few nails here, put the trim back on, the quarter round back on, caulk everything in, and then paint it. Hopefully this little trick helps you out on any of your loose faucets issues or your minor plumbing issues. So until next time, let's tackle that honey-do list.